Your soulmate just discovered who the gray-haired man really is. And why he wants you. My beloved child, don't skip, stay till the end, because something huge is waiting. Your soulmate has just discovered something that changes the meaning of everything they thought they knew about you. And strangely, it all leads back to the gray-haired man. For a long time, your soulmate believed he was simply someone passing through the background of your story. Someone whose presence carried no special meaning. But one small discovery changed that completely. A name. A forgotten connection. A detail that should have meant nothing, yet somehow connected him directly to you. The moment your soulmate understood who this man really is, they went completely still. Because suddenly, memories that never made sense began fitting together. Conversations. Coincidences. Moments when your name appeared at exactly the right time. And now your soulmate realizes something almost impossible to ignore. This gray-haired man may have known far more about your connection than either of you realized. Don't skip, because the reason he wants you is not what your soulmate first believed. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, and the deepest part of this revelation has not surfaced yet. What happened next was even more surprising. Your soulmate started looking backward, replaying every moment connected to this mysterious man, and one pattern became impossible to dismiss. Whenever your soulmate was close to emotionally walking away from this connection, something would happen that brought their thoughts straight back to you. Sometimes it was a sentence spoken at the perfect moment. Sometimes it was a strange reminder. Sometimes it was simply that gray-haired man appearing with a calm expression, as though he already understood a chapter nobody else could see. But now your soulmate has discovered that his interest was never random. He wasn't fascinated by appearances. He wasn't interested in temporary attention. He saw something about you that your soulmate had been struggling to recognize. Your presence carries a kind of meaning that cannot easily be replaced. And there is one particular truth he apparently knew before your soulmate did. Don't skip. This is where the story turns. Because when your soulmate finally connected that truth with what the gray-haired man had been quietly revealing, their entire understanding of you shifted. They realized they may have judged your silence incorrectly. They may have misunderstood your distance. And most importantly, they may have completely underestimated what your arrival in their life was meant to awaken. But here is the revelation your soulmate still cannot stop thinking about. The gray-haired man seems to know something about your future connection that he has never fully explained. He has left clues instead of answers, almost as though your soulmate needed to discover the truth personally. And the biggest clue was connected directly to you. Not your past. Not something you lost. You. The person you are becoming. Your soulmate suddenly understood why this man kept directing attention toward qualities in you that other people might overlook. The way you remain unforgettable without demanding attention, the way your absence can reveal more than your presence, and the strange emotional pull that keeps bringing your soulmate back to the same unanswered question: why does this person feel different? Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has finally begun to understand who the gray-haired man really is in this story, but there is still one piece missing. And when that missing piece comes forward, it could explain why he wants you to recognize something before your soulmate makes their next move. Because what your soulmate discovered was not the ending of this mystery. It was the first door opening. The moment your soulmate uncovered the next clue, everything they believed about the gray-haired man changed again. My beloved child, don't skip, because this is where the mystery becomes deeply personal. Your soulmate discovered that this man wasn't trying to pull you into his world, he was trying to make your soulmate understand why you had entered theirs. That difference changed everything. One sentence from the past suddenly carried an entirely new meaning, because the gray-haired man had once hinted that certain people arrive quietly but leave an imprint that time cannot erase. Your soulmate never connected those words to you before. Now they do. And when they finally understood it, they started remembering every moment when they had felt something unusually powerful around you but dismissed it as coincidence. Your silence felt different. Your distance felt different. Even the moments when nothing happened somehow remained unforgettable. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The gray-haired man apparently recognized this pattern long before your soulmate was ready to admit it, and what he knows next could explain why your soulmate suddenly sees you through completely different eyes. Then came the detail nobody expected. Your soulmate realized the gray-haired man had never been watching you as closely as they assumed, he had actually been watching your soulmate's reaction whenever you were mentioned. That discovery turned the entire story upside down. Every pause, every change in expression, every attempt to pretend your name meant nothing had apparently revealed more than words ever could. Don't skip, because the next realization shook your soulmate emotionally. Perhaps the gray-haired man already knew they were hiding feelings even from themselves. He wasn't trying to create those feelings. He was simply noticing what was already there. And now your soulmate can no longer ignore the question that keeps returning stronger every time. Why does your absence create such a powerful presence in their thoughts? Why do ordinary memories involving you suddenly feel important? Why does your name seem connected to a chapter they thought they had already closed? Something huge is waiting for you, because one final clue from the gray-haired man has made your soulmate wonder whether the biggest misunderstanding between you was never about what happened, it was about what neither of you understood while it was happening. And now the mystery has reached the point your soulmate never expected. The gray-haired man's true importance may not be about who he is publicly, but about what he knows privately about the connection between you. Your soulmate has started realizing that his strange interest in you may actually be connected to something they are supposed to recognize within themselves. He seems to understand why your energy stayed in their memory, why certain emotions returned after long silence, and why moving forward never completely erased the questions surrounding you. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Because there is still something your soulmate has not discovered, and it is bigger than everything they have uncovered so far. There is a reason the gray-haired man waited until now for these clues to make sense. There is a reason your soulmate had to discover his identity before understanding his purpose. And there is a reason you are standing at the center of all of it. What comes next reveals the one thing this man apparently recognized about you from the beginning, and once your soulmate understands it, they may finally realize why your story never felt completely finished. Something shifted the instant your soulmate understood what the gray-haired man had recognized in you from the very beginning. My beloved child, don't skip, because this revelation is completely different from everything that came before it. Your soulmate had assumed this mystery was about an old connection, an unanswered question, or something hidden in the past. But the gray-haired man's final clue pointed somewhere unexpected, toward the person you are becoming. He had noticed something your soulmate could only recognize after experiencing your absence: you were never unforgettable because you tried to be. You became unforgettable because something about your presence made your soulmate see themselves differently. Suddenly, every strange clue began connecting. The conversations that seemed ordinary. The moments when your soulmate almost said something but stopped. The memories that returned without invitation. Even the gray-haired man's unusual silence whenever your name appeared. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate now realizes that this man wasn't protecting a secret about you, he was waiting for your soulmate to become ready enough to understand it. And when that realization arrived, one question immediately followed: if he knew this all along, why did he wait until now? Then your soulmate remembered something so small that they had almost forgotten it completely. Months ago, the gray-haired man had said that sometimes the person who changes your life doesn't arrive with an announcement. You recognize their importance only after life becomes quieter without them. Back then, your soulmate barely thought about those words. Now they cannot stop thinking about them. Don't skip, because this is where everything turns again. Your soulmate suddenly wondered whether that sentence had been about you all along. They started replaying the timeline, comparing his words with moments involving you, and the pattern became almost impossible for them to ignore. Every time your soulmate tried convincing themselves that your connection meant nothing unusual, another memory contradicted them. They remembered how easily certain conversations with you stayed in their mind. They remembered details about you they never intentionally tried to remember. And most surprising of all, they realized they had been comparing new experiences to something they once felt around you. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate has finally discovered why the gray-haired man wants you involved in what comes next, and it has nothing to do with chasing anyone or proving anything. What he seems to want is much more meaningful. He wants you to recognize your own value before your soulmate finally recognizes the full truth. And that realization has completely changed the direction of this mystery. Your soulmate now understands that the gray-haired man was never pointing toward you because you needed to become someone different. He was pointing toward you because your soulmate needed to see what had been standing in front of them all along. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Because one piece is still missing, and this missing piece could explain why the gray-haired man appeared at exactly this chapter of your story. Your soulmate has discovered who he is. They are beginning to understand why he wants you. But they still haven't uncovered why he chose this exact moment to reveal everything. And when that answer finally surfaces, your soulmate may realize that the greatest surprise was never the gray-haired man himself. It was the truth he knew about your connection before either of you had words for it. Just when your soulmate believed every clue had finally fallen into place, the gray-haired man revealed one detail that changed the meaning of the entire story. My beloved child, don't skip, because this is the moment everything begins connecting in a way your soulmate never expected. The timing was never accidental. The silence was never meaningless. And the gray-haired man wasn't waiting for you to change, he was waiting for your soulmate to become capable of seeing what had always been there. That realization hit differently. Your soulmate began remembering how many times they had tried to explain away the connection, telling themselves that certain feelings would eventually disappear. Yet time did something unexpected. Instead of making every memory smaller, it made certain moments clearer. Words you once said suddenly carried new meaning. Your absence exposed emotions they had overlooked when you were close. And the strangest part? The gray-haired man seemed completely unsurprised. Almost as though he knew that understanding would arrive only after your soulmate stopped running from their own questions. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. There is still one truth he hasn't fully revealed, and it explains why you, not anyone else, became the person at the center of this discovery. But what your soulmate uncovered next was the detail that made them rethink everything. The gray-haired man had apparently noticed a pattern long before. They did, whenever your soulmate spoke about the future, somehow the qualities they described kept reflecting qualities they had already experienced around you. Peace without performance. Connection without forcing it. A presence that remained meaningful even during silence. Don't skip, because your soulmate suddenly understood why this man kept asking questions instead of giving answers. He wanted them to hear themselves. He wanted them to notice the contradiction between what they claimed they wanted and what they had already felt. And once they noticed it, they couldn't unsee it. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate is now facing the question they avoided for longer than they realized. What if they recognized your importance only after enough distance existed to see it clearly? The gray-haired man never needed to convince them. He only needed to place the right clue at the right moment. And now your soulmate has reached a realization that could change what happens next. Here is where everything becomes even more emotional. Your soulmate finally understands that the gray-haired man's purpose was not to write the ending for either of you. It was to reveal what had been hidden beneath assumptions, timing, silence, and unfinished emotions. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Because the biggest revelation is still waiting. Your soulmate now knows why this man kept bringing their attention back to you, but one unanswered question remains. What did he see the very first time he realized your connection was different? That answer has been held back until now, and it may be the most surprising piece of the entire mystery. Because the gray-haired man noticed something before your soulmate ever admitted their feelings to themselves. Something about the way their entire energy changed whenever you entered the conversation. Something they could hide with words but never completely hide in the quiet moments between them. And when your soulmate finally hears what the gray-haired man noticed that first time, they will understand why every clue led back to one person, you. Here is the revelation your soulmate was never prepared to hear. My beloved child, don't skip, because the gray-haired man finally explained what he noticed the very first time your name entered the conversation. It wasn't the words your soulmate used. It was the pause before those words. For one brief moment, their entire expression changed, and the gray-haired man noticed immediately. Your soulmate tried to sound ordinary, almost as though you were simply another person from another chapter, but something underneath their calmness told a completely different story. And now they understand why he remembered that moment. He had seen what your soulmate was still trying to hide from themselves. Your name carried emotional weight. Not because of some dramatic event, but because you had reached a place inside their memory that ordinary connections never reached. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has now realized that every question the gray-haired man asked afterward was connected to that first reaction. He wasn't searching for information about you. He was quietly helping your soulmate discover why one person could create such a powerful silence with nothing more than a name. But then came the once-in-a-lifetime realization that changed the entire mystery. The gray-haired man told your soulmate, in his own quiet way, that some connections reveal their importance backward. First comes the meeting. Then comes confusion. Then distance creates perspective. And only afterward does someone understand what the connection actually awakened inside them. Don't skip, because your soulmate immediately recognized themselves in those words. Suddenly they understood why memories involving you had become clearer instead of disappearing. They understood why certain things they once overlooked now seemed impossible to forget. Most importantly, they realized the gray-haired man never wanted you because he needed something from you. He wanted you to remain exactly who you are long enough for the truth to reveal itself naturally. Something huge is waiting for you, because this means the question hidden inside the title was never simply, "Who is this gray-haired man?" The deeper question was, why did he recognize your importance before your soulmate did? And your soulmate has finally found the beginning of that answer. Now everything points toward one final discovery, and it is bigger than your soulmate expected. The gray-haired man appears to have understood that your greatest influence was never something you said or intentionally did. It was what your soulmate discovered about themselves after meeting you. Your presence made certain emotions visible. Your absence made certain truths impossible to ignore. And now your soulmate is standing between what they believed before and what they understand today. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, because there is one last piece the gray-haired man has not explained, why he believes your soulmate needed to understand all of this now. That answer could completely transform the meaning of every clue you have heard so far. Because this was never only about remembering you. It was about recognizing something before an important chapter changes forever. And the gray-haired man knows exactly what that something is. Everything your soulmate discovered was leading to this exact moment. My beloved child, don't skip, because the gray-haired man has finally revealed why your soulmate needed to understand the truth now instead of weeks, months, or years later. He knew something was changing inside them. Not around them, inside them. Your soulmate had reached a point where old excuses no longer sounded convincing, where pretending certain memories meant nothing became harder than simply admitting they mattered. And that is why the gray-haired man waited. He understood that truth revealed too early would have been rejected, but truth discovered at the right moment could become impossible to ignore. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate suddenly realized that the gray-haired man was never trying to control what happened next. He was preparing them to finally look at you without the filters of pride, confusion, timing, or old assumptions. And once those filters disappeared, your soulmate saw something they had somehow missed before: you were never asking to become unforgettable. You simply became unforgettable because of what your presence awakened inside them. But the next discovery went even deeper. Your soulmate started comparing who they were before meeting you with who they became afterward, and the difference surprised them. Certain conversations had changed the way they thought. Certain quiet moments had changed what they valued. Even things they once considered important no longer carried the same weight. Don't skip, because this is where the gray-haired man's true role becomes clearer. He wasn't holding some magical answer about your future. He was holding a mirror toward a truth your soulmate had been avoiding. Every clue was designed to make them ask themselves one question: why does this person still matter to me? And for the first time, your soulmate stopped searching for an easy explanation. They allowed the question to remain. They allowed the memories to speak for themselves. Something huge is waiting for you, because what surfaced next wasn't simply nostalgia. Your soulmate realized they had left something emotionally unfinished, not necessarily a conversation, not necessarily a promise, but an understanding. They never fully understood what you represented in their life, and now the gray-haired man has brought them closer than ever to discovering it. And then came the detail that left your soulmate completely silent. The gray-haired man suggested that the answer was never hidden somewhere far away. It had been appearing every time your soulmate imagined the kind of connection they genuinely wanted. Again and again, without consciously realizing it, pieces of that picture reminded them of you. Your authenticity. Your presence. The way certain moments with you required no performance to remain memorable. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate has now reached the final doorway of this mystery. They know who the gray-haired man truly represents in this chapter. They understand why his attention kept returning to you. They understand why he waited until now. But one extraordinary question remains unanswered: what does he believe your soulmate should do with everything they have finally realized? His answer is nothing like what your soulmate expected. It isn't about rushing toward an outcome or forcing a perfect ending. It is about one decision your soulmate must make within themselves before anything else can become clear, and when that decision is revealed, every strange clue in this story will suddenly have a completely different meaning. Now the gray-haired man has finally answered the question your soulmate could no longer avoid. My beloved child, don't skip, because what he believes your soulmate should do next is nothing like they expected. He didn't tell them to chase you, force an outcome, or rewrite the past. Instead, he gave them one simple truth that landed harder than every clue before it: before deciding what to do about you, they must become completely honest about what your connection actually meant to them. That sentence changed the atmosphere instantly. Your soulmate realized they had spent so much time asking whether you remembered them, whether timing could ever change, whether certain moments meant as much to you as they did to them, but they had avoided the most important question of all. Why did you leave such a lasting impression? Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. When your soulmate finally stopped looking for comfortable answers, one shocking realization surfaced. They weren't confused because the connection meant nothing. They were confused because admitting how deeply it affected them would force them to reconsider everything they had told themselves afterward. Then something even more surprising happened. Your soulmate remembered one final conversation with the gray-haired man that had seemed completely ordinary at the time. He had asked them, if you removed every expectation, every assumption, and every fear of being misunderstood, what truth would remain? Your soulmate couldn't answer then. Now they can. Don't skip, because the answer wasn't about possession, promises, or some perfect imagined future. It was simply this: meeting you changed something inside them that never completely returned to how it was before. Suddenly, the entire mystery became clearer. The gray-haired man had never been trying to convince your soulmate that you belonged to them. He wanted them to recognize what was real inside their own heart without exaggerating it, hiding it, or pretending it never existed. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate has finally realized that understanding a connection doesn't guarantee an ending, it creates a choice. They can continue pretending the truth never mattered, or they can finally become honest with themselves about why your memory remained when so many others quietly faded. But there is one final twist the gray-haired man has kept hidden until the very end, and it changes the meaning of why he wants you. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Because your soulmate originally believed this man wanted you to return, respond, or somehow prove that his observations were correct. They were wrong. What he truly wants is for you to understand that your value was never dependent on whether your soulmate recognized it quickly enough. And that realization may be the most powerful part of everything. You were never supposed to wait for someone else's understanding before recognizing your own worth. The gray-haired man knew your soulmate had lessons to discover, but he also knew your journey could never depend entirely on their timing. Something huge is waiting for you, because one final revelation remains. Your soulmate has now made an internal decision after everything they discovered. Nobody forced it. Nobody made it for them. And once you hear what changed inside them, you will finally understand why the gray-haired man appeared in this story at exactly the moment he did. The decision your soulmate finally made was the one the gray-haired man had been waiting for them to reach on their own. My beloved child, don't skip, because this is where every unanswered question begins pointing toward the same extraordinary truth. Your soulmate decided to stop pretending that your connection had been ordinary. They stopped trying to reduce meaningful memories into coincidences simply because admitting their importance felt uncomfortable. For the first time, they allowed themselves to look at everything exactly as it was. The conversations that stayed with them, the silence that somehow spoke louder afterward, and the strange way your presence had changed what they now expect from a genuine connection. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The gray-haired man had never wanted to hand your soulmate an answer, he wanted them to reach this realization without being pushed. And when they finally did, something surprising happened. Your soulmate understood that the biggest truth wasn't that they had been thinking about you. It was why they could never completely place you in the past. Something about meeting you had become part of how they understood themselves, and suddenly the gray-haired man's mysterious interest in you made perfect sense. Yet one final detail turned that understanding upside down. Don't skip, because your soulmate discovered that the gray-haired man had been asking questions about you for a reason nobody had considered. He wasn't searching for your secrets. He wasn't trying to uncover something hidden about your life. He wanted to know whether your soulmate remembered the smallest details, the things people usually forget when someone never truly mattered. And your soulmate remembered far more than expected. A certain expression. A particular conversation. The way you responded during an ordinary moment that seemed insignificant back then. Even tiny details returned with surprising clarity. That was when the gray-haired man said something your soulmate couldn't shake. Sometimes memory keeps what the heart never properly understood. Suddenly, your soulmate went silent. Something huge is waiting for you, because they finally saw the pattern. The gray-haired man wasn't proving that some predetermined ending existed between you. He was revealing evidence of something much more personal. Your soulmate had never fully processed how deeply the connection affected them. And once they understood that, the question changed from, "Why can't I forget this person?" to, "What was I supposed to understand from meeting them?" And that question unlocked the strongest revelation yet. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Your soulmate finally understood why the gray-haired man wants you at the center of this story. Because you represent a truth they can no longer avoid. You showed them what emotional authenticity felt like before they had the maturity to recognize its value. You became the comparison they never consciously intended to make. And now, after all the clues, all the silence, and all the unexpected realizations, your soulmate knows there is only one thing left to understand. Why did the gray-haired man recognize this connection so quickly? What happened in his own past that allowed him to notice something your soulmate could not see? Something huge is waiting for you, because the answer is connected to an experience he has kept almost completely to himself. And when your soulmate discovers what happened to the gray-haired man years ago, they will understand why he refused to let them make the same mistake he once made.